Hey, everybody. Welcome to Trendpony. Clickety clack, clickety clack. I'm Adam Tod Brown. Who else is here? I did that.
I don't know.
Yeah, normally everyone else makes noises too.
I made a noise.
You did?
I went.
Oh.
Don't get
That's a horse noise.
Hey, Jessica Singer's here. Jenn Scott's here. You heard them. We're all here. We're all back.
Hello.
It's Trend.
Back again.
Trendpony back again. And then the other lines
The
from
sequel.
is
Bonus episode, Unicorn Pony.
Unicorn Pony.
Not Trend Unicorn. Unicorn. Jen did not realize what she did. 100% did not realize what she did.
It works though. It works.
Trend Unicorn. Trendicorn.
Pony.
Trend corn.
Trendcorn.
Trend corn. Nom
How's
nom nom.
How's everyone doing? Is everyone good? Is anyone bad? Jessica, you seem out of it.
Fuck off. I'm so out of it. I do not feel great, but I'm pretending that I do until I do.
I'm fine. I'm pretty glonky.
I don't know if I should have taken the second Benadryl last night.
Oh, that's a lot of Benadryl. Yeah.
Yeah, dog. What the fuck?
I have had major anxiety and have not been able to sleep, and I have no sleepy edibles. I need to go to the store today.
Yeah. Benadryl's a good choice then. But yeah,
Yeah.
two. That's a lot. That's why you're.
It had been an hour and a half since the first one, and she wasn't falling asleep.
That'll do it. That'll do it.
So now I'm a zombie.
Zombie.
Thank you.
Of course. I knew where that was going. So we're talking about the stuff. We're talking about all the stuff. The movies,
Things that
TV
involve stuff.
music, fucking shoes if we want, weed, potholes in our neighborhood. We can talk about anything. This is Trend motherfucking Pony. Should we stick to the format though and talk about television shows first?
Sounds great.
I suppose.
I love
Yes.
TV. I love television.
I love the Epix original television series From, which I've mentioned it on a couple of other podcast episodes before. I think I brought it up on this podcast previously, but I had not seen all of it by that point. And let me tell you, it is my favorite show of 2022 so far. It's so good. It's got a lot of Lost vibes because it is from the executive producers of Lost, but it's the basic premise is you'll be driving, and at one point there is a tree downed in the middle of the street and you can't get around it, and you see a bunch of crows flying above that tree. Once that happens, you follow the road back and you're just stuck in this town that is infested with vampires, sort of. Like they
that's
have a
what
lot
they
of,
are? In the trailer, it doesn't make it clear. They're like, they're monsters. But it's like an old
that's
lady
the
that's
thing.
like, can I come in?
right. They have a lot of vampire vibes, but they're not trying to make anyone their apprentice for ever and ever. They're just they make a point of murdering people in very gruesome and gory ways.
Oh, cool.
And that's it. And then they just disappear back into the night. But they only come out at night. You have to invite them in, things like that. So there's some
That's why it's like a vampire. You have to invite them in.
Yeah.
I love vampire rules.
It's sort of it like skirts some vampire rules. Like they
We're
don't
rewriting the vampire rule book right now.
and it feels like Lost, but if Lost happened and they like took notes from the things people hated about Lost. I mean, it's only one season in, but
Well, they're like stuck in the town too, right? Like you go on the road and it's like a circle. So it almost seems like it's like, did you see that shitty movie Vivarium? that was on.
Yes.
So it's kind of like if Lost and Vivarium had like an improved baby.
Yes, it is. Yeah, you're right. It is a lot like that movie, which
Yeah.
should have been better. I remember not liking that movie as much as I thought I was going to.
Great concept. That's why I'm interested in this thing, because it seems like it's taken that concept and made it more interesting.
Yeah, it's a lot like Lost, but there's this, like, the fun thing about the premise where, you know, you're driving and then this thing happens. It keeps happening. So you live in this town and you know you're stuck there forever. And then all of a sudden you see a new car driving through town and you're like, fuck, we have to go explain to this whole family what is happening. And they're not going to believe us. They're going to probably drive for another 8 hours. And you just see that car going around and around. And eventually the people get out and they're like, what the fuck? And they're like, it's dark. Get inside. You're going to get eaten. Oh, it's so good.
Question.
Yes.
Within season 1, do you see more than one family gets? Because in the trailer, it just shows one family get lost and stuck there. You see more than one get lost and stuck there in season 1.
Yeah, yeah. They
have to keep
a few different characters that way.
Oh, okay. I'm more and more intrigued the more I hear about this show. I don't have epics, but I'll find a way to watch it.
The trailer gave me so much anxiety.
Yeah.
It's a tense show, yeah. And Harold Perrineau is the lead, and he's so good. I like Harold Perrineau in everything. It's just a good show. It's on. You can watch, if you have Amazon Prime, I think you can watch the first 3 episodes for free, but then all the episodes are out, so you can just 1 week free trial epics and knock out the rest of it before you have to pay for it. And I would highly recommend it. That show fucking rules. It's so good. So good.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Who wants to go next?
I'll talk.
Do it. Do it.
Atlanta season 3 is either like halfway through or almost done. Do you guys? I know Jen watches Atlanta. Do you watch Atlanta, Adam?
I love Atlanta, and I have not watched any of this season.
Oh, it's so good. They're continuing that trend of having like bottle episodes that kind of have nothing to do with the basic plot that's happening. And then the next episode, they'll just like hop back into what's happening. And
I read an article about one, and I kind of regret that I read the article because it's the Justin
that story.
Bartha.
Is it that first episode of season 3?
No, I think it's a later episode.
Oh. The first episode of season 3 is phenomenal. It might be one of like my favorite episodes of television.
Yeah, I've heard it's really good.
It's up there with the Michael Jackson episode of Atlanta, which is one of my favorite episodes of television too, which I know it's not Michael Jackson, but you guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Justin Bieber?
Yeah, there's a Justin Bieber episode.
Yeah, that's not what I'm talking about though, is it? Justin Bieber.
Maybe not. Maybe they're two different things and I blend them together.
Yeah, the Michael Jackson one is just like the creepy guy that lives alone and eats like an ostrich egg and like all that.
Yeah,
I do not remember that, but I will
that's
rewatch
like another
it.
one of the bottle episodes where I think the only main actor that's in that episode is Lakeith.
My favorite of those bottle episodes is the Zazie Beetz one where she goes to a party at Drake's house.
Oh, there's some really cool Zazie Beetz shit in this new season. She's a trip.
The main reason it's one of my favorites is she spends that whole night talking to a guy who it maybe is or is not Drake's dad. And he's like speaking Spanish, I think. And at one point she's walking home from the party and the show ends with her just looking up and going, oh, Drake's Mexican. So fucking good.
Yes.
Yeah, the only reason I haven't watched it is because the thing I'm going to talk about next, the NBA playoffs.
And I mean, it'll still be there. It's not going anywhere. It's making me want to rewatch the first 2 seasons for sure. It's just a really well-made show with great writers and great actors. And yeah, Atlanta's probably just in general one of my favorite shows.
One of the things I love about Atlanta is it doesn't feel like one of those shows where you have to go back and rewatch the season before, because something like Russian Doll,
No.
that first season came out like 8 years ago
Oh, the second season has nothing to do with the first season.
of Russian Doll.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The second
Well,
season, they're
still,
starting it like it's 3 years later. And it's just another. It's just
Okay.
I know what you mean, though. I know what you mean, though.
Getting hung up on a technicality.
Sorry.
There are shows where the second season is a continuation of the first season, and if there's a like big enough gap, you have to go back and rewatch it, or it's like I don't remember it. But I like that with Atlanta, that's never the case. It seems like.
Speaking of not remembering, that's like legitimately why I couldn't get into Moon Knight, is because like I would forget what happened because so much happened after like every fucking episode, and then I'd be like, what the fuck? What?
But what is Moon Knight? I have no idea.
Moon Knight is on Disney Plus.
But what is it?
It's a character called Moon Knight, and it's like a one-off character that like the guy from Star Wars, I can't remember his name right now, he agreed to do just this one. Like most Marvel contracts are like, we own you and you are going to do X amount of movies, X amount of shows, blah, 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 for however many years. This guy was like, huh?
Is it Isaac Brock that plays Moon Knight?
I don't know. He just hosted SNL. I'm an idiot for not knowing his name.
I think it is. Go on.
Probably.
Confirm.
And it's like largely about mental health and schizophrenia and like split personality stuff, and it's really interesting, but holy shit, my brain was like overloaded from every episode to where I would just like shut down halfway through the episode and not be paying attention even though I was watching it, like when you're reading a book and your eyes are just going over the words but you're not reading it. Do you know
So is he a superhero? I'm like, I just have no idea what Moon Knight is. You're like,
know.
It's from Marvel. And I'm like,
I don't know. Like he is, but like he is, but he isn't, man. It's super confusing.
Also, it's Oscar Isaac. Isaac Brock is the lead singer of Modest Mouse.
Oscar Isaac. I know who that is.
Oscar Isaac. Yes, I could not remember his name because all I could remember was that he made a joke in his SNL monologue about how his full name is like super long, but Hollywood picked the two white names out of his whole name to be his name, and it's Oscar Isaac, and I could not remember what part of his name was the punchline. Is his name.
Yeah, I haven't watched almost anything on Disney Plus. I don't know why I pay for it. I haven't watched any of the Marvel series. I tried to watch The Mandalorian and just could not have given less of a fuck.
Oh, I thought Mandalorian was so boring too. But yeah, like I should like this show, Moon Knight, but I think that like for some reason I just like my brain shuts off and I'm like, I'm bored, even though I don't think it's boring.
Yeah.
IMDb because I have like absolutely no.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to tell you guys about a show that I sort of watched, but my brain just didn't let me watch.
Stephen Grant discovers he's been granted the powers of an Egyptian moon god, but soon finds out that these newfound powers can be both a blessing and a curse to his troubled life.
More like Stephen granted the powers of an Egyptian moon god.
Wow.
That is Stephen Grant.
Wow.
It's Ethan Hawke too. I like Ethan Hawke.
Everyone in it is good. There's no reason that I should have not been paying attention to it. I wanted to pay attention to it.
Yeah.
And I tried multiple times and I'm like, I really think everyone else will like it. What?
The second review on IMDb is 4 out of 10 stars. I feel like I should like this, but I don't.
It's crazy. I was like, why doesn't my brain accept this as good?
Sorry, I just funny.
That's why I had to talk about it. I almost didn't talk about it because I was like, I mean, I didn't really watch it. But I watched every episode, but I didn't.
You watched every episode?
Sort of. It was nuts.
Commitment.
Not really.
She's like on TikTok at the same time.
Probably, or like I was just like paying attention, then all of a sudden I'm in the other room. Like, I don't know.
Weird.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I feel like I probably wouldn't like it.
Probably not. It's a cool concept. I don't know, man.
Yeah, let's talk about movies. I think we've talked about the 2 movies I brought initially. I added a third to the list.
Oh, you added a third.
Yeah, you don't need to watch the trailer, but I'm just gonna say one thing about it. But I think we've talked about Ambulance and Licorice Pizza both, right?
I had so much fun seeing Ambulance. Did you have so much fun seeing Ambulance?
I loved the movie, but for some reason the temperature inside the theater was a balmy 62 degrees approximately, and it was very cold, which was distracting. But beyond that, God, that movie was so fun.
I was with a couple people, and it's a Michael Bay movie. I'm sorry, this is your movie, and I'm talking about it. But
no, go ahead.
It's a Michael Bay movie, and it's like the most Michael Bay shit I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, just so much action, so much yelling, so much commitment in shots that are like way more beautiful than they have the right to be in a movie like that.
Yeah, it's
Like,
it reminds me of a movie that came out a few years ago called Den of Thieves that I think was a little underrated too. It had Gerard Butler and 50 Cent, of course.
oh, I'll watch that.
And
I've never seen it.
what's the other guy? I can't think of the other guy's name, but Pablo Schreiber. And it's amazing, except there's this whole like running plot about Gerard Butler being a shitty dad and husband. It's like, fucking who cares?
That's how all Michael Bay movies are too, though. There's always like sentimental shit that like doesn't need to be there.
But I felt like it worked this time
because it did. Yeah, go ahead.
Central to the plot. Like it was like John Q and Den of Thieves had a baby that the American healthcare system didn't want to pay for. So now the guy who played Morpheus in the new Matrix movie has to steal a bunch of fucking money and hijack an ambulance. It was fun.
I've never seen John Q or Den of Thieves. I guess I need to watch them. It reminded me of Pain and Gain because I saw that recently.
Oh yeah.
Which is like The Rock and Mark Wahlberg, and that's terribly phenomenal as well. And when I saw Ambulance in theaters, me and my couple friends kind of started the laughter because there's like very serious moments that are hilarious.
Yes.
And it kind of, the whole theater started laughing eventually, except for the couple next to us. When they left the theater, they're like, that was a great movie, but I don't understand why everyone was like, just kept laughing at it.
No. How long is this movie? Because I felt like I watched the entire thing by watching the trailer.
Oh, no, you didn't.
You really didn't.
Oh my God, so much shit must happen. I would probably fall asleep. I'd probably be like, I gotta go, brains full, peace out.
With action movies like this, I either need to watch them in like, if I watch them at home, I need to watch them in like either hour or less chunks. So I did with Pain and Gain, or I need to see it in a theater where I have no choice but to just look at it and then I just get sucked in.
Yeah. So you've never seen John Q? Do you know the premise of John Q?
Nope. I don't.
It's a Denzel Washington movie. It came out in like 2000 or 2001. I think it's the movie he should have won an Oscar for, but it's fine.
Oh.
But he plays a guy who holds a floor of a hospital hostage because his wife needs surgery and his insurance company has refused to pay for it.
Oh, so it is like, okay.
Yeah, so it's a lot like John, like this Ambulance is basically John Q on wheels. And God, that's why it's so good.
Jake Gyllenhaal's the shit. He's like turning into Nick Cage.
Yes. Yeah, he is aggressively Jake Gyllenhaal in this film.
He just so much yelling. He's so good. I know everyone's mad at him because Taylor Swift or whatever, and I'm sure he's not a great guy, but he's so good at doing what he does.
Yeah, I don't know anything about Jake Gyllenhaal and Taylor Swift.
Oh,
there's
he
a
just
whole
like dates
thing.
really. Yeah, that was like her whole SNL performance was like all about him. And it doesn't matter. He just dates women that are too young and then just drops them and is like, what, did that ruin you emotionally? Oops.
Well,
you know, like every dude in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jake, you're not special.
John Q isn't streaming anywhere. I'll find it.
It's not streaming anywhere. That does not surprise me. It is quite.
Well, you have to pay for it, but I'll figure it out.
Jess and I both saw Everything Everywhere All at Once, but separately.
Yeah, I saw it twice.
It's really good.
It's really
I'm
good.
excited to see it. I just
I
haven't
cried.
had a chance.
I cried.
Yeah, I felt like the first time I wasn't like in it 100%. I had like a bunch of anxiety about other stuff, so I didn't really immerse myself. And then I saw it again on a little bit of mushrooms and just really fell into it and had an amazing time.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't like talking about it too much because I don't, if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, I went into it not having seen the trailer, and I really am glad.
Yeah. All I'll say is there's a part with rocks that like devastates me every time, and it's just rocks.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I was like, wow.
Yeah, and I'm just like weeping.
Oh, yeah, I'm so excited to see it. Maybe I'll go see it this weekend.
My
You
one
should.
friend
I wanna
was
talk to you
like
about it.
leaving the theater, and he was like, "I'm so upset I didn't cry."
I don't. That's kind of how I felt the first time. I cried a little bit the first time, but I was like, I didn't really. That's why I watched it again to just really fall into it.
I saw Licorice Pizza because I love Haim, and people had expressed their concerns about the movie, and I was like, okay, there's got to be like some kind of nuance or something that people just aren't mentioning. No, it's just a movie about a 25-year-old trying not to fuck her 15-year-old student, and all of
Is
Haim.
she a teacher? Is she a
Isn't
teacher, or is she just helping with photo day? I thought she was just working there for photo
Oh
day.
yeah. Oh, so she's like Pamela Smart, who everyone that's never mind. Look up the reference. They called her like a teacher in her criminal trial, but she was just a woman who worked for the school district.
That's like I think what this is. And no, Licorice Pizza's bad. I saw it on Christmas.
I actually turned it off. Like I also thought it was just kind of boring.
Good, because the ending made me want to punch a wall. So yeah, just turn it off.
Oh no. Yeah, I didn't like it.
Do you want to know the ending? Can I say the ending?
Yeah, let's spoil Licorice Pizza for people. Do it.
Yeah.
They kiss, and the last line is her telling him she loves him.
The fuck?
Gross.
Yeah. Oh,
Are they married now? So weird.
also, I didn't know until months after I watched it that the lead kid is Philip Seymour Hoffman's son. So I'm like,
Oh yeah, now I can see that now. I did not know that either, but
yeah, I didn't know that
Sure
until
is.
after. And I'm like, oh, that's why everyone's just like kissing this movie's ass. I feel like that's a big part of it.
well, that could be.
Because PTA used to always work with Philip Seymour Hoffman. Now he's working on that.
They all have 3 names.
I tell you who played a really good pedophile. Philip Seymour Hoffman. You ever seen The 25th Hour?
No.
Mwah, I'm being sarcastic, but he plays the shit out of a pedophile in that. And also Doubt, if you've ever seen Doubt.
I think I have seen Doubt. That's like the priest one, right?
Yeah. And in that one, you don't really know if he did it, hence the name of the movie. But
You
Yeah.
know what was great though?
what was great?
The unbearable weight of massive talent.
That I'm going to see soon because it is at the theater by me. For some reason, Everything Everywhere All at Once.
I had not even heard of this.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, it's phenomenal. It is one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite movies of the year. Like, I understand that it's getting outplayed by Everything Everywhere All at Once because that has more. But like this has heart too, is what's crazy. And it's Nick Cage playing himself, or like a version of himself, and it's so good. And there's action and there's heart, and there's a scene where they're both on acid that's very like, oh, everyone involved on this has been on acid before. It's like a realistic portrayal. And so I guess Nick Cage has been brought a lot of scripts where he plays himself, and he's always like, I won't do that, I won't do that. And this was on like, the script was like in a vault where everyone was like, this is one of the best scripts never made for a couple years. And finally the writers sent it to Nick Cage with like a letter explaining what it was about and how much they loved him and how it was like a tribute. And then he read the script and he was like, I'll do it.
Aw, that's sweet.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things.
And I'm
Ease
very,
right now, the weed delivery service. If you order from Ease, one of the like ad inserts they put in there is for some weed company that is selling a promotional strain called the Unbearable Eighth of Massive Buds.
I love that.
It's a
Also,
tonic.
I'm very grateful that you had me do the list cast for Nick Cage recently, because I like got all the references, because like I had just watched a bunch of Nick Cage movies in the last few months.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that makes sense that there would be a bunch of Nick Cage references in there.
Oh yeah, the other lead character is a huge fan of him.
That other lead character is in The Bubble.
What's his name?
I can't
Sorry.
think. I only have one line to say about The Bubble. It's a Netflix movie. Judd Apatow made it. It is Tropic Thunder, but bad. It's
cool.
Yeah,
Love that.
Don't watch it. It's not good whatsoever. But that
Pedro
guy,
Pascal.
yeah, he's in The Bubble, and he's good. Like, he's good in everything. That guy rules. Jen,
Really good.
Did I talk about how I went to the Grammys, or did I not?
I don't think
I don't think so.
Because
I don't think
the
so
last one
either.
We recorded was like a week before, so
Oh, okay.
No, you did not.
Okay, I did acid and went to the Grammys,
Nice.
and it was tight. I got to see BTS perform Butter. They did like a whole Spies thing where like Jungkook like came down from the ceiling. It was really fun. I saw John Batiste perform Freedom, which was really cool, and watched Doja Cat cry, winning for Kiss Me More, and I was really happy for her, and I screamed a bunch. Silk Sonic was so good, and they swept, and Anderson .Paak was wearing this like bowl cut wig, like 70s wig, and this man had become this wig this evening. It was just the wigography was incredible. And every time him and Bruno Mars won for Silk Sonic, they had coordinated standing up very like Silk Sonically at the same time, and so it was fucking hilarious every time they won. And yeah, I was super happy for them. Lil Nas X was robbed. I think he didn't win anything, but he performed and he was really good. That fucking Justin Bieber song Peaches, that's like, you can't even say half the words on TV, and I have been joking about this song for like a year because you can't say any of the words on the radio even, so it's just like, I love pieces out in Georgia, and it's like literally that, because you can't say any of the words. And so performing that live when I was high as fuck was really funny to me, because I was like, this performance is none of the words. And yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, that does sound fun. Going to the Grammy.
Sounds like a blast.
Yeah.
It was fun. The after party was the best part, but they like didn't have a Grammys after party, which is apparently supposed to be the best part. So like a bunch of people did their own after parties. So it was like I was at the very strangest one, I feel like. I like went, and it was these women who had won for their song that day, and they just started fucking performing in the middle of the party, the song they won. And it was nuts. And I was trapped behind them in line at the bar for a drink, and I was just like stuck behind their performance like the whole fucking time. And so like somewhere there's a bunch of pictures of me being stuck behind this insane performance where these women sounded like incredible fucking whale songs. Like I don't know how else to describe what they were doing. It was fucking crazy.
You mentioned John Batiste.
Yes.
I have John Batiste on my list of stuff because, man, that album is so good. I did not know. I knew John Batiste as the church organ player in a terrible Spike Lee film called Red Hook Summer. And I like vaguely knew he was a musician, but I didn't know anything else about him. And then during March Madness this year, they played the video for Freedom as like a tie-in with March Madness, like when they would cut to commercial and whatnot. And I was like, oh, good for the guy from Red Hook Summer getting an opportunity like this. And then I went and looked it up, and he was nominated for like 11 Grammys this year, and he's the Colbert Show's band leader. And I just didn't, like, all of that passed me by.
Yeah,
I didn't know he was
know
the
about him
Colbert
either.
Show's band leader.
Yeah, I didn't either, because I don't watch the Colbert Show. I'm like,
Me
I
neither.
never got. I kind of want to. I want to start getting back into late night television, and
Yeah,
that's the way to do it probably for me.
yeah. I had no concept of this dude's work until I saw him in the March Madness thing. And man, that album, it won album of the year, I believe. And it deserved it. That album is so good. He is a fucking artist. Like he's like, I don't know, Marvin Gaye has a lot of albums, so it's hard to compare him to Marvin Gaye, but he's like D'Angelo good, and D'Angelo is Marvin Gaye good. Like that album is fucking phenomenal. I've listened to it about 100,000 times since the Grammys. I think that's how
I keep forgetting to listen to it, and after the Grammys, I was like, I gotta listen to it. But I have watched the music video for Freedom like 500 million times. Also,
the album is so good. Like he's got a song on there that could be a Kendrick Lamar song. Like it's a rap song, and it like he could have just like slid it across the table to Kendrick Lamar and been like, do you want to record this? And people would have had no idea it wasn't written by Kendrick Lamar. It's so fucking good. So good. Go listen to that album.
I will.
It deserved all those. I think he was nominated for either 8 Grammys or 11 Grammys. I think this album was nominated for 8. And then, or I think he was nominated for 8. And then I think he was nominated for 3 more for the Soul soundtrack, which he apparently did with Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross.
I forgot about that movie.
So do we have anything to plug? What do we got to plug? What's everyone got to plug?
you should be watching me on TikTok live. I'm live literally like every day. If I'm not live, it's an off day for me for sure. But yeah, I usually do like a stream in the day and a stream at night, and it's super fun. I usually just like play music and we chill and stuff, try to conquer the earth, etc.
Sure.
Yeah.
You can get that done on TikTok.
I think so.
Jessica?
I have the 2 shows I'm producing if you're local in LA, Kiddie Pool, the Shark Tank spoof show. That's very, very, very fun at the Clubhouse, and that one's free, and it is the first Friday of every month. And then I have my show Toxic. That is the 3rd Thursday of every month at the Pack. That's a regular ass stand-up show. And then follow me on things and I'll post what else I'm doing, but I kind of haven't been doing anyone else's shows. I've just been doing mine.
I don't know. I don't really have anything to plug. I think I might be doing some shows like in the Midwest-ish area soon. I don't know why I said ish. It's like Iowa.
Midwest-ish.
That is firmly Midwest, but that's still very, very preliminary. And maybe a show in September too. I forgot, someone emailed me about that. But yeah, I might be on a TV show in a couple weeks.
Fuck yeah.
Cool.
But I'm not going to tell people. Just I feel like there might be a little overlap with our audience, and I want people to have that moment where they're like, wait,
that's fun.
What's that? So
that is fun. I want you to tell me secretly though.
I will.
I want to know.
Like,
Okay.
I did, maybe not, but
no, surprise us all.
And I think that's it. Let's get the fuck out of here. Jessica, say goodbye.
Bye.
Jen, say goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye, everybody. We love you.
Love you.
XOXO Gossip Girl.